Caitlin Clark, please leave this league and let it crumble. Please, this league...
Let her walk away. Let the whole league fall with her. That's the cry exploding all over social media right now. Fans have hit a breaking point. They've watched the WNBA's biggest star, not just fouled, hunted. This isn't basketball anymore. It's cheap shots when the cameras aren't looking, hits away from the ball, and the worst part? The referees, the people meant to protect her. They've turned their backs. What started as rough play is now something darker, a pattern. Every game feels like a setup, and she's the target. This league was handed a once-in-a-generation player. She broke every record, filled every seat. She saved them. And how do they thank her? By feeding her to the wolves. Now, fans are done. They're not just angry, they're ready to watch it all burn.
I think the refs had a lot to do with that. It was a build-up for a couple of years now of them just not protecting, the star player of the WNBA. And so at the end of the day, I'm going to protect my teammates. That's what I do.
The numbers, they don't just speak, they scream. Caitlin Clark isn't just a star. She's a walking phenomenon. When she steps on the court, the world watches. Literally. Games with her pull over 1.1 million viewers. That's almost 3 times more than any other WNBA matchup. And the crowds? They don't grow. They explode. In Atlanta, they were barely pulling 3,000. Then Caitlin showed up, and suddenly it was 17,500 screaming fans. In DC, same story. From under 5,000 to over 20,000.
The NBA every day because of the way they play the game. Because I love the WNBA. I love the way they play the game. But we really watch it because Caitlin Clark and everybody watching. Now listen, if I keep bumping her, knocking her down, might get her a concussion, you might hurt her for real. For 2 weeks, she was done with like a hamstring. She was down. 55% of the viewership was down. She comes back the next game, it's about 3 million viewers. Now let me tell you something. Growing up in the hood, they teach you this. Always protect the money. Y'all keep hurting her and all that. She gone for a year or two. Ain't nobody gonna watch it. If nobody watches, how y'all gonna make and generate money? Stop playing with that girl home. Look, y'all need to start doing is put them emails together with the commissioner to the referees. Don't put y'all damn hands.
She's the golden goose, the one keeping this league alive. But on the court, they treat her like she's nothing. Game after game, she gets hit, shoved, blindsided, and not by accident. This isn't tough defense, it's something else. It's off-ball hip checks when no one's watching, dirty screens, shoves after the whistle, not to stop a play, but to send a message. This isn't basketball, it's bullying. And it's happening right in front of everyone with no one stepping in to stop it.
You just go play basketball somewhere else. Your fans will follow you. We will follow you wherever you go. But let this shit crumble and burn to the fucking ground, man. Let the viewership drop below 50%. Let them lose hundreds of millions of dollars again, man. Let them go back into fucking irrelevancy. Nobody giving a damn about none of these players.
While Caitlin Clark takes hit after hit, the WNBA stays completely silent. No statements, no warnings, no action. The very people paid to protect her act like they don't see what's happening. No new rules for refs, no public support. Nothing to stop the violence that's getting worse by the game. It's like they've frozen, or worse, don't care. And that silence, it speaks volumes. It tells the dirty players they can get away with anything. And it tells Caitlin, you're on your own. The officiating has become a bad joke, but no one's laughing because the punchline, it's her. Flat on the floor again.
Then I need to focus on hitting my shots, making sure I'm executing the schemes right. I'm not focused on the extracurricular activities. And you know what? During that, it was just part of the game. I think the refs had a lot to do with that. It was a build-up for a couple of years now of them just not protecting, the star player of the WNBA. And so at the end of the day, I'm going to protect my teammates. That's what I do. And I'm a team player. So
in game after game, it's the same twisted pattern. Caitlin gets hit, and she's the one hit with the technical. Why? For reacting, for daring to show frustration after a cheap shot that had nothing to do with basketball. The message from the refs couldn't be louder. You can rough her up, but she better stay quiet. It's a broken system, one that punishes the victim and lets the bullies walk free. Now fans are asking the question no one wants to say out loud. Is the league just clueless, or are they in on it?
Oh, y'all literally been beating this girl up, pushing her on the floor, pulling her hair, poking her in the eye. You hear me? That's dangerous, bro. Because y'all mad because she pulling up threes in your face and then talking her smack like she should. Everybody else do it, so what's different? Y'all be picking and choosing who y'all want to pick y'all battles with, bro. That's just people.
The breaking point came in a brutal showdown against the Connecticut Sun. The game was already rough. But what they did to Caitlin crossed a line. First, she took a jab straight to the eye. No call. She was still blinking, trying to recover, and bam! Another player shoved her hard to the floor. The whistle finally blew. And then came the shocker. The refs didn't punish the hit. They gave Caitlin the technical. She got attacked. And somehow, she was the one blamed.
Marina Mabry's still staying in the game. What do you have to do to get ejected? Yeah, that's all of our question, buddy. None of us know. None of us know what you have to do to get ejected in the WNBA. You can pull hair. You can pull hair. You can drag... Stop. You don't even have to pull hair. You can drag someone to the ground by their hair and not get ejected. You can... You can body check someone to the ground with no ball in sight. You can poke someone in the eye. None of these things will get you ejected. So at least we know these are the 3 things that you can do. Has anyone thrown a punch yet and not gotten ejected? I think that's just the last straw. Like, maybe that will get you ejected. Anything else? Fair game.
Everyone saw it. The crowd in the arena, fans watching at home, even her own bench, and they were stunned. This wasn't just a rough game anymore. This was a clear, undeniable pattern. Targeted abuse, allowed, even encouraged by the officials. People had felt the tension building for weeks. Every hit, every no call. It was all leading here. And this moment, it was the spark. The injustice was no longer subtle. It was loud, it was clear, and it was too much to ignore. Someone had to do something, because now, staying silent was the real crime.
Sophie, who's my one of my favorites now. She's become one of my favorite WNBA players. I'm gonna watch her too, like I watch Caitlin. Look at what she did. And people may not say that this was in response or whatever the case may be, but I feel like Sophie is like, you want to play? We can play. I want to play the clip of her with the girl. And your girl Sophie.
Wilson at it, knocked away. Good hands by Allen. And Sheldon comes up with the steal.
Watch it.
Coast to coast.
What's up there?
And here's we got another. Breakers here as J.C. Sheldon goes right
Let the
after
blonde hair and the high heels fool you.
It was a hard foul, no
She
good.
got her in the headlock.
With under a minute left on the clock, Sophie Cunningham had had enough. The bullying, it ended right there. Connecticut's Alyssa Thomas was charging down the court, but Sophie didn't just foul her. She made a statement. She grabbed Thomas by the hair and yanked her to the floor. It was brutal. It was shocking. And it was loud. No more quiet frustration. No more hoping the refs would step in. This was Sophie saying, if the league won't protect Caitlin, I will.
Are we even surprised about this? Sophie Cunningham's jersey sales just passed Caitlin Clark's after she goes viral overnight for protecting Caitlin Clark in a game where she got fined $400, which Caitlin Clark apparently is paying for. But yeah, we found our new queen at Indiana.
In that one explosive moment, Sophie Cunningham did what the league refused to do. She exposed the WNBA's complete failure. She became the enforcer fans had been begging for, a one-woman wall of justice on a court where the rules clearly meant nothing anymore. She didn't wait for permission. She took control. And the reaction? The fans erupted. It was raw, wild, and bigger than the WNBA ever expected. Because Sophie didn't just foul someone, she lit a fire the league couldn't put out.
I think the refs had a lot to do with that. It was a build-up for a couple of years now of them just not protecting, the star player of the WNBA. And so at the end of the day, I'm going to protect my teammates. That's what I do. And I'm a team player, so it's all good.
There are players in the Fever team that are soft. And I'll say this, where it's like, it's very rare in sports that the guard is the enforcer. Everyone's like, oh, Caitlin needs to stand up for herself. And I'm like, one, she does. But two, she's a small guard. No small guard likes physicality. No small guard hunts for physicality.
The fallout from Sophie's move? It was instant chaos, and the internet loved it. Before the foul, she had less than 400,000 TikTok followers. Within 48 hours, over 1.2 million. Her Instagram exploded, up by 800,000. Her jersey, gone. Sold out so fast it vanished from stores for weeks. But this wasn't just fans cheering. This was something bigger. They crowned her. The enforcer, the people's champion, Clark's bodyguard. This wasn't just a viral moment. It was the start of a movement. And the WNBA had no idea how to control it.
Caitlin Clark regularly gets picked up in the full court. She also gets blitzed more over the course of her career than any player in WNBA history or in that period of time. And she also creates some contact herself on the offensive end of the floor. She is very difficult to officiate because of all of the contact that's happening around her all of the time. That being said, I was in contact with a number of WNBA coaches yesterday about this topic of the officiating in the WNBA, and all of them said it needs to get better. Specifically, the consistency, not only from one game to the next, but the consistency within a game. One coach told me, we tell our players to be as physical as they can possibly be for 40 minutes because we know for 38 of them, they're pretty much going to get away with it. So I think everybody would like to see a tighter whistle and a...
What this moment really showed was desperation. A fan base fed up, tired of watching their favorite player get beat down game after game with no one stepping in. They didn't cheer because they liked the foul. They cheered because finally, someone stood up. Someone had Clark's back. Sophie's sudden rise wasn't just hype. It was a message that fans were done waiting, and a brutal reminder of just how badly the WNBA had failed its biggest star.
But I thought I would feel compelled to turn on that WNBA game that's going on at the same time and find myself watching it and yelling, "Drag her ass," as Sophie Cunningham is tackling Sheldon to the floor. Love it, dude. It's so good. So good. The WNBA has needed, and the Fever more specifically, but just in general, the WNBA has needed a Sophie Cunningham so badly. And for the record, every single team needs a Sophie Cunningham. Every team that has, their star player, their top guy, gal, whatever, you need someone on the team that when they get messed with, you put that person, whoever messed with them, on their ass. Every time. Every single team in professional sports.
When Cunningham finally broke her silence, she didn't hide behind PR, no fake apology, no heat-of-the-moment excuse. She came in swinging. It wasn't just that play, she said, frustration thick in her voice. The refs had a lot to do with it. And then she dropped the real bomb. This wasn't about one game. This was years of them not protecting the WNBA's star player. Just like that, she ripped the lid off the whole thing. This wasn't a rookie problem. This wasn't some emotional mistake. It was a system failure, and Sophie had just called it out for the whole world to hear.
Correct me if I'm wrong, and I don't think I'm wrong, but Caitlin Clark is the most marketable American athlete that we've had in forever. Also, Sophie Cunningham is a smoke show.
In her own words, this wasn't a one-time mistake. It was a multi-year failure, and suddenly, everything fans had been shouting online was confirmed. What Sophie said? It wasn't just her opinion. It was the truth everyone could see, but no one in power wanted to admit. Then came the backup. Respected ESPN analyst Rebecca Lobo stepped in and dropped the receipts. After deep research, she said it plainly. Caitlin Clark is being played and defended differently than any rookie we've ever seen. This wasn't a theory anymore. It wasn't drama. It was fact. Exposed by a player, confirmed by an expert, and now the league had nowhere left to hide.
And I like to see it, though. I'm not going to lie, man. I really like to see girls who are hungry, feisty, can play ball, supporting their teammates. It makes it entertaining, man. It makes you want to watch WNBA. You're like, hey, they out there brawling. It's back and forth. Caitlin Clark out there hitting threes like it's going out of style. Her teammates got her back. Watching this all come together make you want to watch it a little bit, and see how they play. And I think without Caitlin and them coming to the league, I just think that I don't think it'd be as popular. I think it would have been status quo. But Caitlin Clark is making a ruckus with everybody hating on her, everybody trying to fight her.
After all the chaos, the viral explosion, the expert confirmation, and the spotlight on a broken system, the WNBA finally made its move. Their punishment for Sophie Cunningham's hair-pulling foul? A $400 fine. That's it. Not a suspension. Not even a strong warning. Just $400. Let that sink in. The foul that took over every sports headline was worth less than a pair of courtside sneakers. This wasn't justice. It was a joke. And to fans everywhere, it felt like a slap in the face.
So you all know about the fight. You saw it. It's the biggest sports news story of last week. That was the one thing. But then it came out a couple of days later. Sophie Cunningham got fined. I'm just curious. What do you think the fine was? What do you think the fine was? In the NBA, you hear so-and-so fined $5,000. This person fined $10,000. I've even heard $25,000. But here's what Sophie got fined. $400. Oh my God. If that's going to be the fine, rack them up. I'm going to put $2,000 to the side, $2,500 to the side, knowing there's probably a limit. A flagrant 1 is $200. A flagrant 2 is $400 in the WNBA. Rack them up. Probably takes 4 or 5 flagrants to get suspended for a game. I don't know what the rules are, but my point is, if you're going to be messing with Caitlin, I'm going to put $2,000 to the side. Me and Caitlin are going to have a little fine bucket. $2,500. This is for the season, and then I'm going to dare people to.
The message couldn't be clearer. If you rough up the WNBA's biggest star, it'll cost you less than a pair of sneakers. That $400 fine, it wasn't a punishment. It was a green light. It told every player in the league, go ahead, take your shot. The consequences mean nothing. This wasn't just weak leadership, it was total failure. Let's call it what it is. One of the most embarrassing displays of business malpractice in modern sports. Caitlin Clark handed the WNBA a winning lottery ticket. She brought millions in revenue, media deals that never existed before, and crowds so massive teams had to move games into NBA arenas. Any smart league would protect her like gold. Instead, the WNBA let bitter jealousy and bad officiating put everything at risk. They didn't just fumble the bag, they lit it on fire. And now the league's greatest gift is becoming its biggest threat. Because fans aren't just angry, they're walking away. This isn't just failure. This is self-destruction on full display, a masterclass in how to take gold and grind it into dust. The WNBA didn't just drop the ball. They may have detonated their own future. They've set a dangerous precedent. You can take cheap shots at Caitlin Clark, and the league will look the other way. But let's be real. One Sophie Cunningham isn't enough to fight off an entire league's worth of envy. What happens when 2 or 3 go after her next time? What happens when the next dirty foul sends her to the hospital? This isn't just about Clark's trust in the league. It's about our trust. And fans aren't trapped. International teams would throw mountains of cash at her. Some are even whispering about a new league, built around her name. A few months ago, that sounded crazy. Now, it sounds inevitable. Because here's the truth. The WNBA needs Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark doesn't need the WNBA. The Leave the League movement isn't a fringe theory anymore. It's a real conversation happening on talk shows, Twitter, and in every fan section across the country. They'll follow her, anywhere, to new cities, new networks, even new leagues. Sophie Cunningham bought them time, but she also exposed how deep the damage goes. Enforcers can't fix a culture this broken. So now we ask, will the WNBA go down in history as the league Caitlin Clark saved, or the one that let her walk away and took itself down with her? If you're just as fired up, just as fed up, smash that subscribe button right now. Drop a comment, share this with someone who needs to hear it. Because this isn't just a sports story anymore. It's a reckoning, and it's far from over.